Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be discussing my Meps experience. So guys, I just want to begin this video saying I made another video with my Meps Hotel experience, and it's going to be in like a little icon here or here. I don't remember which side it is, but I'm going to think it's like right here. It's a little icon. I'm going to link it to the Meps Hotel experience video. So if you want to watch that, it's right there. That's a whole separate thing. You get to watch me in the hotel. Not too much footage in there, but I mean, there is a decent amount of footage actually. So I'd say go check it out. All right, so let's get started with this. All right, so my Meps experience. What happened? What went down? How did I get there? What happened, right? Okay. So, I've been to Meps a total of 3 times, right? The first time I was there, I went there to take the ASVAB, right? The second time I went there, I went to take my physical. The third time I went there, I went to swear in, okay? Now, the last 2 times that I have recently went, not like so recently, but like recently, the last time that I went to go to Meps, they made me stay at the Meps Hotel, right? And the reason you stay at the Meps Hotel is because, at least for me, the Meps is in Baltimore and I live in Washington, D.C. So my recruiter drove me out to the hotel the night before, and then they take you to the Meps at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., right? The Meps Hotel is also where you'll be before you ship out. So that's just where they process people, right? It's just to get people, because they cannot rely on you to make it anywhere on time. They're going to make you get there on time, you understand? You can also drive from the hotel to Meps by yourself, but you have to discuss that with your recruiter and the hotel when you get there. The people, like your liaison, well, whoever's there. So, pretty much, after you go into the hotel, right? So I'm going to discuss my day of the physical because this is the most prevalent one. So I'm going to say this real quick, okay? Meps is boring as hell. I'm sorry for my language. But Meps is the most boring place on earth. Not excluding reception, because that's a whole different thing that I haven't experienced yet. I'm going to, and it's going to be just terrible. But guys, just be prepared. Just be prepared. Be prepared to wait all day long. Sitting down, waiting, and then rushing when they tell you to go. It is a long, arduous process, okay? It's just very boring. Once you get through it, you'll be glad you did it, but it's just terrible, okay? Now, let's get started with what happened when I first got there. Well, before I get there, actually. So, at the hotel... Sorry, I had to change the lighting real quick. At the hotel, this is what happened to me, okay? So, because it is, COVID time, it is Rona season. It is a little different from how it's supposed to be, usually. So, number one, when you're at the Meps Hotel, you have the room to yourself. You have literally 2 beds there to yourself. I recommend only using one just so you don't make the maid's job harder, you know what I mean? But you could technically use both, because technically it is a room for 2 people and you're supposed to use it for 2 people, but since it's COVID, they don't do that. Also, they check your temperature when you get there, and they make you write it down on a piece of paper, right? So the first time I went there with my recruiter, I didn't see nobody get their temperature checked. I didn't get my temperature checked, right? So when I got there in the morning, when we woke up in the morning at like 4 something in the morning, and they make us come down, right? I'm there, and then they're like, okay, guys, we're gonna put you on the bus, all right? Now, if you're on group 1 or group 2, let me know. Or he lists it out, and then if you're on group 2, they make you wait in a room for an hour to go on the second bus. If you're on group 1, then you go on the first bus, and you get to go to Meps first. But that's only if you've already done the physical and stuff. If you haven't done the physical, then you're going to be waiting. But this is what happened, right? We were in line, and then this guy asked, oh, I didn't get my temperature checked, because he mentioned something about a temperature. And then he was like, "Oh, you didn't get your temperature checked?" Sorry for my language. I'm about to say this. I'm quoting the guy. He said, "Well, your recruiter got you fucked up because you're gonna be waiting outside of MEPS for him." And I was there like, I'm like, no, I'm serious because I didn't get my temperature checked either. So me and this dude, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be waiting outside of MEPS in the freezing cold. It's cold. And I'm like, I'm gonna be waiting out there, and my recruiter's not even awake because they're not there with you. Okay, your recruiter's not gonna be with you. And it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and they don't go to work till like 9. So imagine if I had to wait there for a couple, like 5 hours, 4 hours. I'm not doing the math in my head right now. If I had to wait there for a couple of hours outside in the freezing cold, dude, I was shivering. I would have been so, I would have been so mad. All right. Now look at this. We get there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please, please just let me in. Please just let me in. Don't give me an issue. This dude is such a liar, man. He is such a liar. First of all, people did get temperature checked at the hotel, but I did not, and that guy did not. But what they did do is they did another temperature check when you got to MEPS. So it was like, what was the whole point of him even saying that? If he knew that you were gonna get temperature checked at MEPS, why would he say that? He's an ass, bro. He's an ass for that. I'm sorry for my language again. He is such a bad dude for doing that. He is a butt. He is a butt. All right? Like, why would you do that, man? You made me worried and stressed and anxious for what? You know what I mean? For what? For what? So, although he, like, that dude got called out in front of everyone. Everyone was looking at him. I'm like, yo, that's me too, though. Anyway, let's move on. So after, that happened, I waited in a room for an hour because I was on the second bus. I get there, and we're waiting outside in the freaking cold. And, we're just chilling outside in the cold. We're freezing waiting, and they're passing this paper and this pen, and like you're shivering in the cold. You're like, oh, it's cold. You can barely like use your fingers because your hands are like rock solid. They're cold, right? Like you can't really use your fingers. And I'm like, oh, I had to sign my name. I had to put my temperature. I had to do, well, not my temperature. They do that. You had to like sign. Do you have COVID for 14 days? Whatever. Blah 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 blah. Have you been quarantined? Have you been in another state? Anything like that. You had to sign that sheet. And then you go to when you start going in, they check your temperature. They put the temperature on the paper, and then you have to keep that on you while you're in there because you're gonna give it to the medical people for your package or whatever. Okay, so then you get inside MEPS. You had to check in or whatever, right? I check in with the lady. She's the nicest lady. She helped me out. She was just really nice. Honestly, like most of the people there were nice. They weren't mean, surprisingly. I mean, the first time I was there, the liaison was mean, but after that, I didn't experience that again. So I went into the they said go wait in front of the liaisons, right? And it's like a room of chairs. It's like the liaison with the Marines, Navy, Coast Guard, whatever. All the branches, right? The liaisons are like surrounding the chairs. And so I was sitting outside of the Army liaisons waiting to be called, to be told what to do, I guess. And then I was told to wait because of something was wrong. When I got there, they said, are you aware that you're not supposed to be here today? And I'm like, what do you mean? My recruiter scheduled me specifically for today. Otherwise, I would not have come. Why? Of course, I'm not aware of that. My recruiter told me I was supposed to be here. He told me like weeks ago. Weeks. And you're telling me that I'm not supposed to be here. Do you understand? Like in my mind, I was like, it's always something, man. It's always something. I swear. It's like, it's always something. It's always something. Every time I go to MEPS, it's always something. So I was furious. And then she said, go to the liaisons, speak to him, and go get this revised or whatever. Like get them to project you for today or whatever. I'm like, I'm already supposed to be scheduled for today. I go there and they're like, oh, you're actually scheduled for 2 different days. That's weird. But you are supposed to be here today. And I'm like, great. Awesome. And then later on, I asked my recruiter and he was like, oh man, they freaking messed you up again. Like, he clarified with them so many times saying not to put me for the next day. And they messed me up. They just didn't have my stuff together. And it's so annoying because he clarified with them. He even told them he scheduled it for the day that he scheduled it. And like this MEPS is, look, the ratings for this MEPS, I would give it a, but Baltimore MEPS, it's terrible, man. It's terrible. The amount of crap I dealt with MEPS is just, but anyway, after, I got that situated, they told me to go to the briefing room. They briefed me on what was going to happen today, like what you guys are going to do today, right? So I was there for the physical, and then they were saying, okay, you guys are going to go through this, you're going to go through this. Don't lie about this. You can go to jail if you lie about stuff, blah, 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 blah. They were just pretty much saying you're going to do the urinalysis test. You're going to go through a vision test, hearing test. You're just going to do all these different tests, right? And then after that, they sent us to the rooms. They sent us to another briefing room where they briefed us again on the physical. And I'm like, yo, how many times are we going to get briefings? And so here's another thing, guys. Look, they say, oh, the first thing you're going to do is the urinalysis. So you know what I did the night, when I woke up in the morning, which was like 4 a.m., I chugged the sink water because I didn't have water. So I just chugged water, bro, out of the sink. I chugged water out of the sink, and, I was ready to go. I'm like, okay, I should be good. I held my pee for 5 hours. Look, wait, let me see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did not use the bathroom. I did not do the urinalysis test until 9 a.m. in the morning. We got to MEPS at 5 a.m. I had to pee since I woke up, which is around 4 a.m. So just imagine, my bladder was going to explode. Like, the entire time, I just felt like utter trash. It was terrible. I'd say bring a water bottle with you and drink it before then. Like, drink it knowing you're about to do the urinalysis, drink it before then. Don't do what I did. Use the bathroom. It was terrible. Don't listen to them when they say, oh, the first thing you can do is urinalysis. No. I had to literally ask specifically to do the urinalysis first because I had to go. I've been holding it for the longest time. And the lady was like, oh, you can't use the bathroom. I was like, you can use the bathroom, but then, if you can't use the bathroom, then we're going to send you home. And I'm like, are you serious? So then, oh man, then I used the bathroom. And by the way, they say that, when you do your analysis, you have someone watching over you, like physically watching over you when you pee. That's not what happened. Well, kind of, but no, it's not what happened. The way it works is there's a guy there. It's like a bathroom. It's like a regular bathroom, right? It's just like stalls to piss in. So it's like a L-shaped wall like this. And there's stalls on this side and this side. And then there's a guy. There's a guy here. It's like a window in front of him. Not a window, but like a thing that's open. And he can watch everyone from that window. It's like a room behind the bathroom wall. And they just watching you through that window. And that's where they collect the urinalysis samples and stuff. And that's pretty much what you do. You're going to pee in front of them. But, I mean, you could angle yourself so you don't. But the thing is, they have to watch you because you can't, they don't want you to, mess with your pee sample, essentially. You also had to be in their sight when you're holding your pee sample. Because if you go out of sight, they might disqualify you. Because they'd be like, oh, you might have done something to it, So just do what you're told. But pretty much, by the way, you're going to be carrying your packet with all your medical stuff. And you're going to be going around getting it signed by each station you go to. So the first station I did was urinalysis, right? I got that signed by the dude. I was clear, right? I was good with that. And then after you get out of there, right? But by the way, when I peed, I peed at an angle because, I didn't want no one seeing my stuff. So yeah, you're gonna be peeing with other dudes, obviously. But after that, I can't remember the exact order I did this. I'm gonna remember. I'm just trying to inform you guys. So I'm pretty sure after that I was going to do the hearing, but instead of the hearing, I went to. Oh, by the way, so there's like a room. There's a room, and it's like all the stations around there, right? All the stations. So you got the vision, you got the hearing, you got the blood, you got to get blood withdrawn, and then you have. So okay, it's urinalysis, blood, vision, hearing, physical, right? Which is the part that I'm gonna say the last because it is the worst experience. Okay. Anyway, so I was waiting for the hearing, and as I was waiting for the hearing, or it was the vision. As I was waiting for the vision test, the blood sample lady, she's like, "Oh, did you get your blood drawn?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." And then she got me, right. So here's the thing, guys. I forgot which arm has the vein that pops out, and I just gave her my right arm because that's the side that she was on, right? And so she was having a problem finding my vein, and I'm really light skinned, right? Even though I'm light skinned, you can't see my vein for some reason. It's like harder to find. And this arm just sucks at that. And so she tried looking for it, and she got it, but she missed. So she was just the needle was in my arm, and she was just digging around looking for the vein, dude. Oh my gosh, she was looking for the vein, and I'm just like, oh man, yo, it didn't even hurt, but it was just looking at it. It looked so weird, like it did not look comfortable, and it was making me kind of cringe, like I was like, it looks so bad, right? And then I was like, I actually think I have a better vein on my left arm. She's like, oh, why didn't you tell me that to begin with? And I was like, because I wasn't thinking. But yeah, I do have like an actual vein that pops out here automatically. I should have just told her to do that. By the way, I have this army shirt, but I'll speak about that later. But yeah, so I was like, man. So after that, I went to the vision room, and that was pretty quick. I'm pretty sure if you have glasses, right? If you have glasses, I think you have to take the test without glasses once, and then you have to take it with the glasses. I might be wrong about that. I think you might just do it with your glasses, right? And, you have to get a good score with your glasses on. You can't just, fail. If you fail with your glasses on, then you're blind. But I got 20/20 on that. I didn't even know I had 20/20 vision until I did that test. And he was like, 20/20. He wrote it on my thing. I was like, wow. I mean, I read the smallest letters there. But, I mean, still, I didn't think I had 20/20 vision. Apparently I do. So after that, I went into the hearing room. The hearing room, the hearing test. Look, they didn't even explain it. They didn't explain what was gonna happen. I only knew from watching YouTube videos. But they did have a sheet on the seat, right? And by the way, the seats are spaced out, and they say don't sit here, sit here, don't sit here, sit here. So on the seats that said don't sit there, they had the pamphlet saying what was going to happen in the instructions, right? I'm like, thank God there's instructions, right? Because I'm like, no one said anything. So I read it, and it said, even if you don't hear anything, click it. Even if you think you hear it, click it, right? But sometimes you're like, I'm not sure. But even if you're not sure, click it, right? So there's a thing, right? So you go into the room, and there's a guy outside, recording all the results and stuff. He's in the military as well, so whatever. Well, he was at least. I don't know if it's gonna be for you. And then there's a little box room that's soundproof, and then there's a headset on the wall, and it's red. I think it was either right for red and right red, left blue, or it was reverse. I don't remember. It was one of the two. And you had to put it on your ear, and it's really, dude, it barely fit on my head correctly. It was falling off. It was a flat earpiece. It wasn't it was just really uncomfortable and weird. And I was like, yo, am I gonna be able to hear well with this? Because it's not fully on my ear. So pretty much I took it, and you had a little buzzer beeper thingy. Not a buzzer beeper. You just click the button. So you would hear it really tight. And then it sounded one time it sounded like it was on the other side of the room, so I thought it was coming from someone else. I was like, there's no possible way I could hear someone else's thing. Um, so every single time I wasn't sure if I heard it, I still did it. And I got a pretty good I got a pretty good score. I passed, right? I got a pretty good score. So look, I thought I had a bad score at first because I was like, oh my gosh, what do these zeros mean? But I didn't know that the closer to zero you are, the better. And most of my stuff was closer to zero. The highest score I had was a 25. But that was it. And I had like 20, 10, 15, and then it was like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So I was pretty good with that. And then after that, and here is the holy grail of this video right here. So I forgot exactly what the terminology is. It was like I can't even remember, man. It was like what it's called is something else, but I'm just gonna call it physical. Okay. So this is the physical part. The physical part, you're waiting in a line of people, right? But you're sitting in chair space from each other. And if there's no space to sit down, then you're going to stand up. So I was there with a couple people. I was waiting there for such a long time because these physicals took forever for people. I don't know why. It just took a long time. But I was sitting there with a bunch of guys, and like we were sitting there for so long that we started talking to each other, and we had nothing better to do. We can't be on our phones. You can only be on your phones if you are like you have permission, or if you're in the liaisons, or if you're in the cafeteria. But when I was there sitting, we were talking, we were just joking around, whatever. We were talking about our MOS, when we were going to ship out. I didn't have a ship date yet because I hadn't sworn in yet. And that was the day I was doing my physical. So I'm like, I don't even know how you guys have your ship date before you even done your physical. I haven't even done it. So pretty much we were waiting, we were talking, right? And it's funny because those dudes went in before me, right? And when they came out, each and every one of them just gave us a sour look. They gave us a sour look coming out of that room. They're like they just felt violated, okay? And so I understood that very quickly. So look, guys, in the orientation that they give you in the briefing, they tell you everything that's going to happen, okay? You read it. So read it, please. You go into that room, okay? I don't know how it is for females. I don't know. It might be the same. It might be different. But I had a male doctor, okay? I've never had a male doctor before. I'm used to women doctors, okay? So this was already uncomfortable for me. I went in there, you sit down, they ask you questions, pretty much the stuff that you answered to begin with. They're going to ask you, oh, have you ever smoked weed? Have you ever drank alcohol? Have you ever do you take off-the-counter pills? Have you taken any sort of drugs? Anything like that, right? They're going to ask you, oh, by the way, they make you fill out a sheet, like in the briefing room, to show, like, if you have any scars, tattoos, or anything, and you have to bring that with you. And they give you a bunch of other stuff you have to sign as well. And then we get there in that physical room. He asks you all those questions. You give him your packet. Of course, that's the first thing you do. And he's grading you in that packet, right? And they're going to check off things and on, like, you just better hope you get a good thing, right? Don't lie. Okay? Whatever you put on your paper is your truth, right? Whatever you said to begin with is your truth. If you go anywhere off from what you put on that, you're going to be in serious trouble, okay? It can either hinder your ability to join, or it can make your life completely harder because it will take you forever to join if you say anything wrong. So let's say, for instance, you said no to drinking alcohol. But then they're like, are you sure? Are you sure you never drank alcohol? And you say, yes, I did. Then you just screwed yourself over because you lied. And then they're going to ask you why you lied. And then you have to explain yourself. So it's better to just, unless you had alcohol in your system in your urinalysis, there's no reason for you to just say that. Don't do it. Their main goal is to disqualify you so they don't have to so they can get on to the next person. They don't care. They really don't. So anyway, after he asks you those questions or whatever, then the physical begins. By the way, one of the questions was the off-counter, like, have you taken any supplements? I said the only supplement I take is, this. And that's about it. My vitamins. I don't even need this. This is not prescribed. This is just for me to vitamins, right? Anyway, after this is the part where still like, oh, you know, it's just very, makes you uncomfortable just thinking about it. So everyone who's joined the military knows this, okay? Everyone. You may have a father in the military. You may have an uncle, a grandpa. They've all gone through this, most likely, okay? The first thing he says is take off your clothes, right? And then you're going to be standing in your underwear. And then he says, I'm not even kidding when I say this. He says, all right, now drop it to your knees. By the way, I'm wearing just underwear. Okay, so drop it to your knees. I'm like, I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but like, bro, why do you have to say it like that? That was weird, dude. Look, I'm not one to judge, but man's looked a little feminine, okay? He looked a little feminine. All right? Just because, I don't know, there's like this one famous dude, and he kind of reminded me of him, and he is feminine. So I'm like, I just got that vibe from him. I don't know if he is. I can't judge. But it just felt like, I just felt uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But they even said, if you feel uncomfortable with this, you can ask for a female person to come in or whatever. I just wanted to get it over with. I was uncomfortable, but I didn't want to wait longer for someone else to come in. And I also, like, 2 people watching me get undressed naked. Like, that's just like, that's just not worth it. And then, so then they check your ball. He checks your balls and he checks your penis. And, man, he puts his fingers like this right next to your schlong. Like, right, like, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, you know, this is your stuff, and then your balls are right here or whatever. And he puts his finger, like, right here. And then he says, turn your head and cough. And then that was it. And then that's it. And then after he said, okay, turn around, bend over. I'm like, yo, come on, man. And he's like, okay, now spread your cheeks. And I was like, what? Guys, it's just the most demoralizing thing. All right? It's just like, man. And it was only for like 2 seconds. But look, if he saw it, if there was anything abnormal that he saw with his 2 eyes, they are allowed to put their finger in and touch around. But that didn't happen to me. He just looked real quick and that was it. And I put my clothes back on. You do not understand how fast I put my clothes back on. And then after that, he said, you're good to go. And I was like, okay, now what? He said, okay, get dressed, then go into that room over there and get undressed again. And I was like, what? And then I went into that other room and, you know, the first thing I see is all the other dudes who just went through what I just went through are sitting on a bench, half naked, right? In their underwear, just underwear. And I was like, whoa, what did I just walk into? Is this a shoot? I'm just kidding. But I walk in, I'm like, we all just stare at each other. I'm like, yup, you went through it. I went through it. We all went through it. And now you have to get naked in front of us. She's like, bruh. So the reason why you get into that room is because that's where they do your physical fitness test. I can't remember all of the exercises. All I know is, look, they're going to make you do stuff like this. You know, they're going to make you balance on your foot. They're going to make you hop or something like on one foot. They make you do stuff like that. There was like weird exercises. I can't really remember. You know, weird stuff, right? Balancing. And then you had to do the duck walk, which is pretty easily. You just like you just like squat and then you kind of like go like that on your tippy toes while you're walking. It's pretty easy. It's not hard. I don't know why people say it's hard. It's easy. They literally show you how to do it. So, I mean, if you just learn, you do what they say. Okay, that was not the hard part. The hardest part for me was walking on my knees. I'm not kidding when I say that hurt so badly, right? Just on your knees, bare kneed. I have weak knees. And what I mean by this is they're very sensitive. So I don't walk on my knees usually. I never get on my knees. If you know what I mean. I never get on my knees. So look, when I was told to walk on my knees, it's just a bone. And you have to walk like 5 steps and then 5 steps forward and 5 steps backward on your knees. Bro, it was the most painful thing ever. And I swear when I was walking back, I was like, oh, my knees are about to pass out, right? Like, I swear my knee was going to collapse. It felt so bad. And then, like, you know, I had ashy knees after that. But pretty much, man, like, after that, they said walk 5 steps forward, 5 steps back. But I swear we walked more than 5 steps. From that position, you had to get up without your hands, right? You had to stand up onto your feet. But when you got up, you couldn't have moved your foot. You had to, like, straight up, whatever position you got up from is the position you had to stay in. You could not have moved your foot an inch, anything like that. They were watching. And if you messed up, then you had to redo it. And I was not trying to fail any of that because I was like, I want to get over with this. I want to get over with this. And that was it. But, oh, my bad. No. I skipped the part. Sorry. After that happened, you had to go to the last room, which is where you get your packet reviewed. I hope I'm not missing anything. If there is someone who went to MEPS and you're watching this video, please remind me, because, you know, this happened a while ago. But we went to the room to get your packet reviewed, right? And this is exactly how it went. It was like, oh, okay, I see. Oh, you did pretty good. Wow, you got really good scores. Okay, so you passed your vision test 2020. Wow, you got really good vision. I see you passed your hearing test. You did really good. Okay, your blood seems good. Your urinalysis is good. All this is good. But you know you're disqualified, right? That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. Not even kidding. And I was like, how? How am I disqualified again? Did I mishear something? Like, did I mishear something? Because I could have sworn you just said I passed everything. So, guys, look, this is what happened. I had been, and this is a separate video I'm going to speak about this, okay? Because it's a whole nother story. But I had surgery 2 years ago, maybe like 2018, okay? It's 2020 now. I'm about to be 2021. Anyway, quite literally, I had surgery and I had to get approved by my doctors and give them notes. And then I had to mute my phone. And then they reviewed it with their doctors and, you know, it took them forever, but they finally got it processed and they said I was good to go, right? I had to get that done before even going to do my physical because I couldn't do it without that information because I have a scar on my foot. So, like, they check all scars. Surgeries are serious when it comes to the military. They will take it serious. If it's not noticeable, don't say nothing. But if you have a surgery, you have to say something about it. You know what I mean? And so anyway, it was that. And he said, oh, did you not know? It's an automatic disqualification for joint dislocation. And that was my surgery. I had a joint dislocated. I had a tendon that was dislocated, like popping out of a joint. And guys, I'm like, so why did I have to go through the whole process to get it cleared medically? And you may have gotten cleared medically, but you're still disqualified because it's an automatic disqualification. This just is the dumbest thing ever. Like, this is so stupid. Why did I have to go through all that trouble? You know? I had to go through all that trouble to get my medical cleared. And then when I finish everything, he tells me I'm disqualified. Disqualified. I was so mad. I don't think you understand. Like, I was trying hard to understand. I was mad, okay? After that, he said, okay, well, I forgot to mention. He didn't say that. He said, well, you could get a waiver for that, right? And I was like, okay then. Why didn't you just freaking start with that? Why didn't you start saying that? You say you're disqualified, but you can get a waiver. Why didn't you just say that? Why'd you pause? Make a dramatic pause as if that's it, right? Why'd you do that? That's unnecessary. He was a nice dude, though. He was a nice guy. You know, he was pretty cool. But at the same time, that's messed up. You know what I mean? It's messed up. Anyway, I went home, whatever. I didn't get a waiver approved until like 3 weeks later. 3.5 weeks. It was either 2.5 or 3 weeks. Something like that. Then, once I got cleared for that, I was like, okay, good to go. My recruiter said, you're good to go. All right. Well, when are you available to go to MEPS? I said, whenever. And so I went in, right? Went to the Meps Hotel again. Did all that process again. Went to MEPS. Except I got on the first bus this time. Talked to some really cool people. There were some really nice people. I'm going to show a clip of me swearing in a second. But I want to tell you guys, leading up to that. You know, you go to briefing, they tell you all these things. Guys, you're just gonna be waiting all day, because like they're not just dealing with you, they're dealing with other people. They gotta get other people sworn in, they gotta get other people physicals done. So you're gonna be waiting in the liaisons forever. So for me, I waited in the liaisons for freaking like 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. And then after that, you know, I got called in to the liaisons. They're like, okay, we're going to pick your job now. Or I already had my job reserved, but if I wanted to look for other jobs, I would have to drop my reservation, and I wasn't going to do that. So I was, you know, he was like, okay, come here. I was like, okay. And so I'm doing MP 31 Bravo. By the way, I'm going to Fort Leonard Wood in... I'm going to bleep what I just said out because I don't think I'm allowed to say it. But I'm going to Fort Leonard Wood. I'm not going to say when. Sometime in January. Pretty much. He was like, come here. And then he put me on the phone. I had no idea what was going on. I was being interviewed. Okay? I was being interviewed. I was like, whoa. I was not expecting that. Like, it just happened so suddenly. I got interviewed for security clearance, essentially. Asking me a lot of questions. I'm not going to go into detail about that because unless you, like, if you guys really want me to, if you guys are actually watching this far, if you want me to speak about that, I will, okay? Just let me know. I will speak about the security clearance. I'm not going to go into detail about the questions unless you guys want me to. But it was like it was kind of scary a little bit just because, like, you know, whatever. But after that, then I started, he was like, okay, do you have your passport? Do you have any other step siblings? And I was like, yes. So I had to add a step sibling that I had. Not a sibling, but a step parent. And then pretty much I had to give them every information, every detail. If you don't give it to them, it's really not good for you. So they needed a picture of my passport for some reason. They had my passport information on file, but they didn't have my passport picture. I was kind of annoyed by that. And then my mom had to get out of her work, go home, take a picture of my passport so I could show that to them. You know how annoying that is? Anyway, they said, we'll hold off on that. And then I still signed my contract. I signed my contract and I just signed it on the digital thingy. Then I fingerprinted. Guys, just know that on the day that you swear in, it's going to be a lot of finger scanning. You're going to be doing all fingers, man. So just be aware of that. There's a lot of things. It's a little scary. But like all the things that you're going through is a little scary. Like you're joining the military. You're officially joining the military. You can die joining the military. It's not a joke. So it's a little scary, you know. But yeah, you're going to be doing fingerprints, signing digitally with your fingerprint. You know, you go into like another room after that. You go into like another room after that where it's like operations or something like that. I don't know. Forget what it is for. But they pretty much discuss your contract, make sure you understand it. Make sure you understand everything that MEPS knows. And then they said that they're going to give my mom up to 100,000. Like whoever I said to do it, and I said my mom, they'll give you up to 100K. If you die or something, they'll give your parent or whoever you said 100K to do your burial, your funeral, and everything. Right? And I was like, that's pretty cool. That's your life insurance right there. So that's pretty cool, I guess. And, they pretty much said a bunch of different things. I can't remember everything. It was a while ago. And after that, I did all the fingerprints. Then we went to swear in, right? We had to swear in and we had to put our fingerprints and stuff in the machine and digitally sign and everything again. And we swore in. I'm going to put a video here in a second.
Raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your full name. I do solemnly swear. That I will. Support and defend. The Constitution. Of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. That I will. Bear true faith. And allegiance. To the same. And that I will. Obey the orders. Of the President. Of the United States. And the orders. Of the officers. appointed over me according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. You may place your arms down.
We swore in twice. I don't think anyone can say that besides our group. I swear I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that before. But this is the funny thing. We swore in twice. You know why? They were recording the ceremony, right? They were recording. You're gonna be in a room, right? And you're gonna see it. And there's gonna be flags in there and stuff for each branch. And we got sworn in by a captain, I think, in the Navy. I might be wrong. It was a captain in the Navy, I think. And she did it. But here's the thing. We swore in. The guy in the National Guard swore in by himself. And that's why he's not talking with us, because he had already sworn in. And pretty much what happened was the recording stopped. It was a live stream. The live stream just cut midway through. So we had to redo the whole swearing in for Facebook, right? So we swore in twice. No one can say they have sworn in twice. I'm going to ask people, and I probably won't find anyone who can say that they sworn in twice. So, guys, I swore in twice, all right? They gave me a bag. It came with, not this shirt, it came with a separate shirt. You get this from your recruiter at any point if you ask for it. I asked for it because I was like, I want something like that, and I thought it was cool. I got 2 of these shirts he gave me. I get this extra large, and I got a large. Extra large kind of big on me, but my clothes usually shrink in the wash, so I was like, whatever. But yeah, guys, that was my experience at MEPS. I might go into further detail later if you guys have any questions about it. Other than that, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me your experience if you had one. When you're going to basic training, your basic training date. Well, maybe not the basic training date. Maybe the basic training date, because it's not like I'm going to do anything with that information. But I can't say it because I heard that you're not supposed to. At least that's what my recruiter told me. Because it's like a security risk. But, you know, you guys put down in the comments if you guys, what MOS you're doing and stuff like that. I'm doing 31 Bravo. I'm going to be military police. It's going to be crazy. So I will see you guys in the next video. Please check out my last video that I did, Meps Hotel Experience, blah, 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 blah. I just pretty much described it in this video as well, but you'll actually see it in this video. So go check it out. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. I'll probably be doing a next video about why it took me 2 years to join the Army. Why? Why did it? Why? You're going to find out in the next one. So I'll speak to you guys later. Peace out.